Hello, everyone out there. It's me, Mike Hill, and welcome to the Everything Went Black podcast. It's been a minute since the last episode because I was out on tour for the last month or so, taking the music to the people. We were out with Darkest Hour, Ringworm, and Rivers of Nile. And it was a rough one, man. I got to be honest. It was a hard time. And it was a lot of grueling drives, a lot of very underappreciative crowds, and a bunch of other stuff, which I really would rather not get into. That was kind of a drag for this tour. Any of you guys out there that might have caught some of the shows, you might have realized that there's a completely different lineup on that tour. And that's because pretty much everyone that has been in the band for the last couple of years is now out of the band. And I'm kind of starting from scratch with a brand new lineup. So yeah, it's been a real trip these last few months, recording the new album, dealing with all these lineup issues, trying to keep the ball rolling. And new records coming out in June. We got a tour coming up with, which actually I can't mention who, because I think the tour is actually going to be announced this week, so I don't want to jump the gun and piss people off, because, PR people, and, people at labels and whatnot, they get real sensitive about things that get announced prematurely. So I'm just going to hold off on that. It's another U.S. tour. It starts June 17th. It goes into July, pretty much hitting the whole U.S. once again. And we'll be out there this time with brand new record in hand. And it's my debut, since I am the only original member left in the band. I'm the last man standing. None of that stuff's going to stop me. If any of you guys have been following the band for the last several years, there's been a lot of people in and out of the band over the years, and I got to be honest with you guys, it hasn't really felt like a band since Andrew left, and that's just the truth of the matter. It's not to say that the last couple things we did I haven't been proud about, but the band really is turning into just, my singular vision with whoever has the heart to continue doing the band. So yeah, when Andrew was in the band, it really did feel like a band, and the two of us had a really strong creative thing going on, and sadly, it's not like that anymore. We still remain great friends. As a matter of fact, on this last tour in San Francisco, I got to hang out with him and Carson Daniel James, a former bass player. So we got the chance to catch up in the Bay Area and just kind of talk about old times, and really great guys. And I miss seeing those guys regularly. Everyone lives in different parts of the country now. Andrew's out in the Bay Area, Carson's in Texas, and it's very, very seldom that we get a chance to be in the same city together. So I cherish those moments, and it was just great to hang out, in the middle of all this other stuff going on. It was good to see some friendly faces and just catch up and have a good time. Those guys came to the show, so they got to see the lineup that I'm working with, at least for that last tour. So with that said, I'd like to thank Jeff Wilson and Ken Sorceron for stepping up and saving the day and being able to do the tour. And, it was really cool of those guys to make time to come out and do the tour. And, definitely, feel like indebted to those guys. We had a drummer out on the road with us. Didn't quite work out with him. I'll spare everybody the details, but, I don't want to say too many negative things about him, but it just didn't work out. There you go. Sorry to say, didn't work out, and we'll leave it at that. Before we get rolling on this, I just want to remind everybody to go to everythingwentblackmedia.com, and if you're into training jiu-jitsu, doing MMA, doing Muay Thai or CrossFit or any of those things, and you need awesome gear, in particular a nice bag to haul your gear around town, check out Datsusara, and there's a link on the everythingwentblackmedia.com website which will take you through a portal to their site, and you can order a bag, a fanny pack, grappling shorts, t-shirts, hoodies, pretty much anything that's related to training or sort of the MMA, BJJ, martial arts lifestyle. You can get at that site, and there you go, man. And it's Chris is a great guy. He's actually been a guest on the podcast a few years back, and I really back his product. I use the bag. I have the battle pack, the large one, which I take out on tour with me as luggage, and I also use it every day that I go and train. You can fit shin guards, boxing gloves, shorts. There's like pockets for water bottles, headgear. You can throw a gi in there, rash guards, all that kind of stuff. It's got tons of pockets, and it works great if you're out training. And also, if you're out traveling the country, I can fit everything I need in there. One of the cooler things about it is it also comes with what's called a nasty bag, which is simply a bag that's water resistant, and you can throw all your disgusting, dirty clothes in there so it doesn't infect the rest of your clean clothes. And that's great for traveling applications as well as for sweaty gear. You can throw your hand wraps, shorts, whatever you've used in a nice hard training session in that bag. Also, Onnit, I'm a huge fan of the Onnit products. My main jam is the krill oil. Into those omega-3s, omega-6s. Very useful for if you're into hard training or just overall health. They got an array of great stuff. I've tried out pretty much every product they have on the site, and I go in and out of using certain things. For a while, I was doing the Total Primate Care. That was great. Another great product is the Hemp Force Protein. I'm not a big protein powder guy, but I always keep a canister of that on hand for those days where maybe I can't prepare meals, or I'm in a rush, or if I just simply need a between meal snack, and that's great. I usually put some coconut water in there, throw it in the blender. It's a nice low carb, sort of low sugar solution for those hunger pangs that you might be getting. And I don't know if it's specifically, it's a good post-workout thing. If you're into sort of hypertrophy, you might not be reaching for the Hemp Force, but I know Onnit does have, some sort of cold press whey protein powder that they use for those of you guys out there looking to get yoked and are lifting heavy weights. That's like the perfect thing for you. And also there's like an array of MCT oils, nut butters. The MCT oil that they have is something that's part of my daily regimen when I'm home. I use the MCT oil in my coffee, and pretty much every morning, I put together a nice Savage Gold Blue Monday MCT oil grass-fed butter drink. That dovetails nicely with my next plug, which is Savage Gold Coffee, which is my coffee company. And if you're down for the coffee, check it out at savagegoldcoffee.com and enjoy. I got some new stuff that I'm looking to unload this summer. Looking to get into the cold press game. For those of you who may have checked me out at some of the kind of pop-up things I've done over the last year. Last summer I was selling the cold press black coffee concentrate, and it seemed to be a hit with everyone. So it's getting to be that time of year, looking to go big and get into some bottled, nitrogenated cold press coffee. I don't have a release date for that stuff yet, but I'm hard at work at putting that together. So yeah, man, check it out. If you go to the website, you can sign up for the mailing list, and frequently I offer discount codes for people who subscribe to the mailing list. And I'm always running sales. Now that it's spring, probably going to be doing like a spring cleaning kind of sale. The newest product you can find up there is the Savage Gold Centurion soap, which is an antimicrobial soap in bar form. And once again, it's for everybody, but if you happen to be the kind of guy who spends a lot of his time rolling around on mats, training martial arts, this is specifically geared towards you. keeps away all those like nasty infections, and it's all natural ingredients. And yeah, if you're down, pick up a couple bars of that. Also, due to popular demand, I'm probably going to be bringing back the coffee soap. So that's a lot of people have been asking about it. It was a little bit of a novelty, but it seems to be catching on with people. So the coffee soap will be also back in action. And if you're an Amazon Prime, user, you can also go to Amazon and buy the coffee and the mugs and all that sort of stuff on Amazon. Maybe save on some shipping. And so there you go. One of the most alarming things I discovered on tour these past few weeks is sort of coincident with the election of Donald Trump. There seems to be this, overall increase in ignorance and the sort of embrace of, ignorant thoughts. And the most ignorant of all these ignorant thoughts is this flat earth idea. And I don't know where this started or what kind of people would believe something like that, but I find it alarming that this is actually a thing that people believe. Nothing like being thrust backward in time 1,000 years and undoing all the great work that physicists have done. But I just am baffled by it, that there is this movement of stupidity saturating, or saturating might be too strong of a word, but sort of, leaching into the American consciousness. And I know nobody that listens to this podcast is probably a flat earther, but I find it very, very disturbing that an idea like this can catch on with anybody. That's something we talked about quite a bit on our travels across the country. We were only on part of the tour. We missed the East Coast, and we met up with everybody in Reno, Nevada, after playing a handful of dates on our own out there. So, traveling across the heartland, that kind of thought sort of entered my consciousness. Listening to some AM radio and things like that, and hearing people talking about their embrace of the flat earth concept. So I can't believe I'm even discussing this, but I find it frightening, frankly, frightening. And if anyone can shed any light as to why this phenomenon is happening, please feel free to hit me up. We got a Facebook page. Some of you out there are actually friends of mine, so you can email me directly or text me or Facebook me. But I think that it's an interesting topic as to why people think that the earth is flat. And 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the simple concept of saying that is ridiculous. And I find it even more so ridiculous these days in the face of all the scientific breakthroughs and technological breakthroughs that have happened in sort of this advanced cycle, that people still somewhere out there refuse to believe the earth is spherical and that it's actually flat. One of the questions I have is, what would be below the earth if it was flat? Would it be hell? Is there a guy holding the flat earth up on his shoulders? Are there other are the rest of the planets flat? What about the moon? Is that flat as well? I don't know, all these things, no one seems to think beyond that. And, I'm just interested. I'm one of these people who likes to explore all these bizarre ideas. So the flat earth idea is something that just seems ridiculous to me. And I just would really like to understand why people, believe in that stuff. Yeah, tour was a trip, man. It was good to be out there. But, it was tough. Like I was saying, we recorded a record in January, and it was basically just me, Evan, and Charlie. And now it's down to me, basically. And, a bunch of new guys that still forming. Today I spent the entire day down in New Jersey rehearsing with the new drummer and a new bass player, and just getting things ready for the next tour. And it's definitely a like a real drag, especially since having an opportunity to work with such a great label like Metal Blade only comes around once in a while. And an opportunity like this might never come again. So I don't want to fuck it up. So this whole thing has been very trying, and I refuse to see it as a long-term obstacle. Instead, I choose to look at it as a challenge. It's maybe a test as to what my actual resolve is. Like how badly do I want to do this? The universe is putting all these obstacles in my way, and I guess testing me to see if I really have what it takes to overcome this stuff. And I believe that I do. I believe that through diligence and belief, I'll overcome all these things, and that the right people will be attracted to the creative statement of the band and the diligence that I approach everything with. So far it's been working out. I got a great drummer in line, an awesome bass player, and still working on getting that second guitar slot, fitted out for this next tour. But like I said, man, it's been a real trip. I guess the operative here is self-belief, and that's something I've been meditating on. Um, the whole, it's easy to maybe see things from the negative side. Um, things might appear to be falling apart around me, but it's just like I said earlier, it's just a test in your self belief. And if you do not believe in yourself, then you'll fail. You're not failing until you give up. I mean, as long as you're trying, as long as you're putting one foot in front of the other, pulling yourself out of bed every morning and trying to do the best work you possibly can, you still haven't failed. The moment that you fail is the moment that you stop pursuing your goal. And that's something that I carry around with me. I keep pondering the idea of like, man, maybe this is like it. Maybe this is the end of the line. Maybe this is like, the end, man. Who knows? I mean, once again, there's no, in this music game, there's no guarantees about anything. Bands come and go, people come and go. The minute that I stop doing this, I'll be forgotten. So really, it's a freeing idea knowing that, hey, I did this thing for a few years. It's cool. It was, I had some laughs, whatever, put out some records, and now it's over, and no one's going to give a shit. 2 days later, maybe a week, people will be like, oh, wow, that's too bad, man, But after that, it'll be forgotten. It'll be like, there's tons of bands out there that had a couple records out, and then they just like dissolved into obscurity. And I find comfort in that, because I try to put meaning in everything that I do, but like at the end of the day, in a timeline that's long enough, all this stuff goes to zero and no one's going to care anyway. And I find a lot of comfort in that. I look at all the things in life that are important to me, all the people in my life that are important to me. But, in 50 years, well, I'll be dead most likely. In 100 years, anyone that might have remembered us is going to be dead. 200 years, those people will be forgotten. And in 1,000 years, this entire civilization will probably be lost and forgotten. So it's a freeing idea to keep that in the back of your head whenever you're feeling stressed about owing money or not being able to pay your rent, or, your band is like this, or your bass player quits, or this, that, It's like in 1,000 years, no one's going to give a fuck. So I find I get comfort out of that for some reason. So really, the only thing that's worthwhile is moving forward and to keep on keeping on. And that's kind of like, you take some hits, you pick yourself up, you put one foot in front of the other, and you keep moving forward. And that's really all there is to do. And, the only thing that gives me comfort is like knowing that all this will pass. Like any sort of trial or obstacle or hardship, there's a beginning and an end to that. Just like there's a beginning and an end to the good times that you have in your life. You know, some of the good times seem few and far between, and that might be punctuated by utter misery, but good times come again, you know, and the same thing with the bad times, the hard times, they come and go. And yeah, that's like, once again, I gather strength from all these ideas, and it gives me the sort of impetus to wake up in the morning and drag myself out of bed and continue moving forward. So once I got back from tour, of course, I got sick. That always happens. You get run down. You're pushing it every night. You're driving. You're not eating right. You're not really sleeping. You know, it's a very stressful situation at times. And then as you roll into that last show, that last drive, your body starts understanding that whatever demands you've placed on it are no longer required on a daily basis. And your body just goes into this kind of, you know, sort of falls into this like fatigue thing. And sometimes that fatigue turns into, you know, getting sick, feeling under the weather, exhaustion, all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of what happened to me the last few days. I went up to visit my folks. I spent most of the time asleep on the couch, which was a good thing. Had some chicken colored Parmesan, you know, got taken care of by my parents. Came back to New York. I know I'm ready to rock and roll. Feeling a lot better today. Spent the day practicing. Tomorrow is like a new day, and tomorrow is like the beginning of moving on to the next phase of things. You know, we got 2.5 months before the next tour starts, new records coming out, and like my energy will be placed in the direction of making the next thing all that it possibly can be. You know, it's funny. You know, this record's coming out, and I feel like writing new material. It's like I never feel more inspired to write than the minute I finish recording a record. And I had this desire once I came back from Florida to start working on new material. And I think that once I get everything straightened out for the tour, probably going to enter like a new period of, you know, of inspiration and, you know, a kind of creative spurt, you know, and also playing with new people helps that too. You know, you get a new drummer involved, plays a little bit differently. These ideas come. And next thing you know, you got like 5 or 6 brand new songs that you're looking to unleash on people. So that's kind of the next thing I'm looking forward to. Also, I want to give you guys a heads up that I'm going to start a new podcast that's going to be part of this feed. It's going to be an experimental thing. You know, for those of you out there who've been listening for a while, Andrew and I were doing these MMA, UFC breakdowns. And I imagine some of you were interested in that, and some of you probably weren't. So I think that moving forward, it's going to still be part of this feed, but it's going to be, you know, a separate kind of thing where you can actually decide, okay, cool, I don't like combat sports, so I might skip this episode. Or, hey, I love combat sports, and I want to listen to these episodes that are devoted specifically to combat sports. And let's kind of see where it goes from there. So this week, I'm going to launch the Black Coffee Fight Club, which I believe is going to be the title that I've selected for it. And it's episode 1 will be dropping later this week. Just in time for the UFC coming up this weekend. You know, it's Daniel Cormier versus Anthony Johnson. And yeah, we're going to try it out. It's not just going to be MMA or UFC stuff. It's going to, you know, I'm going to talk about Bellator. I'm going to talk about kickboxing. Going to talk about jiu-jitsu. You know, get reflections on current news in the combat sports world. And ideally, I'd love to have some guests. You know, we'll see who I can gather. Andrew would probably, I imagine, be part of some of the episodes, but just due to logistical issues, I don't think Andrew will be able to be part of every episode. Maybe some of the main cards, we can work something out, but it'll mainly just be me going off about stuff like UFC, MMA, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, just basic knucklehead stuff like that. And you'll know if it's one of these episodes and you don't really give a shit about that stuff, you can skip it. And if it's something you're into, then you can check it out. And we'll see how it goes. For all I know, it might spawn a whole new thing that might turn into its own feed. But or it might not, or it might be a complete failure, and I might stop doing it altogether. But that's that'll be coming at you this week, and also the new website will be launching. I know I've been talking about this new website for a couple months now, but being in and out of town for recording and touring has kind of like gotten in the way of finalizing everything. But this week, I believe the new site will launch, and it'll be sort of like a portal to pretty much all the things that I'm doing. There'll be Everything Went Black, the blog and the podcast episodes. There'll be a Necromaniacs page for those of you who love horror movies. There's the Necromaniacs podcast with me and Mike Scandato, and we break down 3 movies each episode, as well as like a bunch of other esoterica that we want to talk about. I'm also going to be adding some written media to the website, so there'll be articles that mostly I'll write, I imagine, about movies and the occasional interview, that kind of stuff. I really want to put a lot more energy into that aspect of things, the Necromaniacs site and podcast, because I really love talking about horror films. I love writing about it. I love the genre, and it's I think for me personally, I've been looking for a really good horror podcast, and there's a few out there I listen to, but I kind of feel like Necromaniacs does a good job, and I think that it can only get better the more work we put into it. So that's going to be something that in the coming months I'm going to be putting a lot more time and effort into that, as well as Mike too. So we'll both be putting more time and effort into Necromaniacs. And also, Savage Gold Coffee is part of that, and then there'll be links to Tombs, and also later this year, I have a solo, quote unquote, solo project coming out called Vasilek, and that's something that will be released. I believe we don't have an exact release date for that, but it's going to be either August or September, depending on a couple of different factors. Translation Lost is going to be releasing that, and they're a great label, and I feel honored to be working with them. Really cool bunch of guys, Christian and Drew. I've known Drew for many, many years, and Christian is somebody that I've recently gotten to know better in the last few years, and I'm really looking forward to getting that material out there to you guys. And it's mostly ambient stuff. I've put it all together myself. Synthesizers, some like found audio. It's pretty cool. It's got I'm proud of the work, because I'm not a keyboard player. I don't know anything about synthesizers or drum machines. It's not something that comes naturally to me. So it's kind of like a culmination of a lot of hours of experimenting and research and trying things out and seeing what works and what doesn't work. So I feel very humbled that someone's even interested in releasing this thing, and I'm proud of the work, and there'll be more news about that as time goes on, and we have more definite ideas about when the release date's going to be. But for now, the project's being mastered. James Plotkin's going to master it. Working on some artwork concepts, things like that for the record. But that stuff will be they'll be developing, and I'll keep everyone updated onto when that stuff's coming out. In the meanwhile, another old project of mine, Anodyne, which was a band that existed. It started in 1997 and existed for about 10 years. Well, not quite 10 years. I put a Bandcamp page together for that, so you can all the materials out of print at this point. So the only place you can really find it that I know of is on the Bandcamp page. So all the records are up there. The only thing I haven't put up there yet is a discography called The First 4 Years that I put out on Black Box Recordings many years ago. That is a sort of compilation of demos, 7 inches, splits, stuff like that. And that hasn't been put on the Bandcamp page yet. So, yeah, check it out. It's on Bandcamp. And I'll probably post a link on the Facebook page if you guys are interested in checking it out. All that stuff's available. Also, a bit of news. Some friends of mine have opened up a brand new Muay Thai camp out in Queens. So if you love Muay Thai, or if you're interested in training Muay Thai, it's called Raktan Muay Thai, and it's part of, right now at least, it's being hosted by Renzo Gracie in Astoria. It's the Renzo Gracie Academy that's in Astoria, New York. And this past weekend, they had a free seminar, and from what I understand, it was quite successful. Classes start on April 13th. So I'll put a link up on the Facebook page for that as well. And if you're in the New York area, Long Island, and you want to start training martial arts, check them out. It's two really good friends of mine, Srijan Munier and Mike de Guzman, guys that I used to train with over at Koban's. They have started this camp, and they're two great coaches, awesome guys, and I highly recommend checking them out if you're interested in training Muay Thai. And I most likely will drop by too. Currently I'm training over at the PCC with Gavin Van Vlack, but I'm always looking to get a new look. Always looking to get different takes on the 1,000-year-old martial art. And so yeah, maybe you'll see me out there too. So anyway, this is a quick episode. Just wanted to shout out everyone and let everyone know what's going on. And I'll be back on the horse in the coming weeks. And I'd really love to figure out a way to continue doing this stuff while I'm out on the road, but it gets difficult. So looking forward to getting back into the swing of putting out episodes regularly. And once again, if you enjoy this, give us a review on iTunes, give us a rating. Really appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram. Well, actually, to be honest with you, Everything Went Black doesn't have an actual Instagram page, but you can find me, Mike Hill Primate, on Instagram, and I post a variety of different things. Necromaniacs has an Instagram. Savage Gold Coffee has an Instagram. So, share and follow us, and be informed on all the stuff that's going on. Likewise with Facebook, Necromaniacs, Everything Went Black, Savage Gold, all have Facebook pages. So, give us a like. You can also check me out on Facebook, Michael Hill, and also on Twitter at Mike Hill HQ. And I think that's really all of the social media stuff that I got going on. And I'm just getting back into the swing of being home. Really looking forward to getting back to training this week. I feel weak and out of shape, and I need to get that fire back. Start kicking things, start lifting weights, start throwing some kettlebells around, start jumping some rope, start doing some push-ups, like that kind of thing. Start throwing some punches and kicks and getting back into the swing. So yeah, man, I'll see you guys next time, and keep an eye out for all this stuff coming at you. Peace.
Wasting away and time's too dear. Somebody hold me, I'm afraid. But I'll be a chicken for a place to be safe. It's been too long and I've seen your face. It's been too long. Had a place seem to see until you had my heart. I'm drifting by, baby, just torn apart. Somebody stay near, this time it's for real. I'm just what you made me, baby. I never heal. And it's been too long since I seen your pretty face. It's been too long since I had a place. It's been a little bit too long since I seen your pretty face. It's been too long since I hold you in my arms. 'Cause baby, I feel so said I feel a little cold in the nighttime, baby. Too long since I see your face, your pretty face. Last days here, too long. These are my last days here. It's been a little too long. I feel so cold, baby. I said I'm feeling a little bit cold right now.